Why was he drawing human bodies at night? What made the world call him a heretic?
The Renaissance was a glorious era when art, culture, and science flourished. It produced great geniuses we still remember today, such as Michelangelo, Raphael, Sandro Botticelli, and especially Leonardo da Vinci. This place in Italy is located in the Tuscany region, specifically in the city of Florence. However, 500 years ago, this town was called Vinci. On April 15, 1452, a baby boy was born there. Hello, little baby. What is your name?
My name is Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo's mother was a poor peasant woman, while Leonardo's father was a wealthy notary. The two of them fell in love and had Leonardo together. However, at that time, social class divisions were extremely strict. Leo's father did not want to be known for marrying a peasant woman, so he used a classic fuckboy tactic, fuck and run. He abandoned Leo and his mother and married a wealthy woman. But while they were living together, his gun ran out of ammo. He and this woman could not have children, so he decided to return to Leo's mother and take Leo home to raise him. At just 5 years old, Leo was an illegitimate child, taken away from his mother. Leo was a lonely child. He did not attend school like other children. Instead, he was educated at home. From a very young age, Leonardo loved music, painting, and sculpture. In the 21st century, those who study art or become painters are often seen as wasting their time. However, 500 years ago, it was a highly profitable profession. Seeing their son's talent, the family supported Leo from an early age. Around 1460, Leonardo's family moved to the city of Florence. There, Andrea del Verrocchio, a famous architect and painter at the time, and a close friend of Leonardo's father. Leo's father brought his son's drawings to Verrocchio's house after seeing Leonardo's paintings. Verrocchio was astonished by his natural talent and decided to take him on as an apprentice. Around the age of 14, Leonardo moved to live and study in Verrocchio's workshop to focus on his training. During his apprenticeship, Leo revealed extraordinary talent in many fields, including music, literature, chemistry, metallurgy, sculpture, mechanics, and especially painting. Verrocchio rarely completed his works entirely by himself. He would paint about 80% of a piece and leave the rest for his students to finish. After Verrocchio left the Baptism of Christ painting unfinished, he entrusted Leonardo with completing it. Leonardo finished the work by adding the image of a kneeling angel. When Verrocchio returned and examined the painting, he noticed that compared to his own angel, which had a dull, lifeless face, Leonardo's angel was incredibly vivid and full of life. Verrocchio realized that his apprentice's talent had far surpassed his own, perhaps out of deep humiliation at being outshone by his own student. From that moment on, Verrocchio never painted another picture again. Talent waits for no age. Leonardo's fame soon surpassed that of his masters. In 1472, his talent was officially recognized by the Guild of St. Luke, the Painters Guild in Florence. Leonardo often hired male models for his drawings, and during this period, he got caught in a scandal. He was accused of seducing a young boy he used as a model, and was also involved in a threesome with 3 other men. Leonardo was arrested and held for questioning. However, since the boy he allegedly molested did not get pregnant, there wasn't enough evidence, and he was let go. Were you once imprisoned for having a threesome with 3 other men? Can you tell the audience whether the rumors about you liking men are true? If I say it here, it ruins the fun. But if it's a rumor, there must be a reason. I'm not into men. I'm only into dick.
But you're pretty handsome too.
During this time, Europe was experiencing political turmoil, which led Leonardo to take an interest in designing military weapons. This was a type of cannon that could carry additional firearms and knock down enemy ladders on the city walls. What kind of cannon is this? It looks so fucking ridiculous. It straight up looks like a giant dickhead, right? After being mocked, Leo left his hometown and moved to Milan in 1482. At that time, he was 30 years old. He began working for the Duke of Milan, Ludovico Sforza. However, the Duke failed to recognize Leo's true talent. Whenever Leonardo presented a new invention, it was rejected. Instead, he would tell Leo to work on unrealistic and impractical ideas. Frustrated after working for such a foolish duke, Leo even considered giving up his career. But suddenly, The Santa Maria Monastery commissioned him to paint a mural for their church, and that painting became The Last Supper. Leonardo spent more than 2 years completing this masterpiece. In 1499, French troops crossed the Alps and invaded Milan. The city fell, and Duke Ludovico Sforza was captured. With no one left to protect him, Leonardo was forced to flee. In 1500, he moved to Venice. There, he worked as an architect and continued designing military devices. Around this time, he also began studying flight. He bought many birds and released them, carefully observing how they flew. What the fuck is that dude up to now? He's got to be insane. But in reality, he was studying how they flap their wings. He had already designed a pair of artificial wings, attached them to his arms, and attempted to imitate the way birds flap their wings. However, he failed. In 1502, Leonardo received an appointment from Duke Cesare Borgia and joined him as a military engineer. This gave Leo the opportunity to travel across Italy and work on various projects. During this time, he designed advanced military fortifications to protect towns. After seeing his designs, the Duke was greatly impressed. Leonardo quickly gained his favor and was appointed chief military engineer. In 1503, Leo left Venice and returned to Florence. In October 1503, he began painting a portrait titled Lisa Gherardini. Today, the painting is widely known as the Mona Lisa. This was the painting that made Leo's name go viral among the public. Originally, it was commissioned by a merchant as a gift for his wife. However, perhaps Leonardo foresaw that this masterpiece would make him famous 500 years later, so he decided not to deliver it to the merchant and kept it with him instead. In the spring of 1506, Leonardo's father passed away. After settling his father's affairs, Leo became involved in a legal dispute with his half-brothers over the inheritance. Once the lawsuit was resolved, Leonardo officially entered the service of King Louis XII of France. He worked for the king as a court painter and military engineer. Leo was highly favored. He was free to study whatever he wished and always had the king's full support. In March 1513, King Louis XII was overthrown, and King Leo X came to power. Having lost his patron, Leonardo once again left and moved to Rome. In Rome, Leo had many connections. He was allowed to reside in the Vatican and even had his own private workshop. In addition, he received a monthly allowance. During this period, Leo's health began to decline. Doctors diagnosed that he might have only 2 years left to live. Even so, he remained passionate about his research. He began studying human anatomy, dissecting corpses, and drawing the body's structures in remarkable detail. In October 1515, King Francis I of France led his army to conquer Milan. Having heard of Leonardo's extraordinary talents, King Francis I requested to meet him. On December 19th, Leo quickly won the king's favor. The king even granted him the use of the Château du Clos-Luz, a manor located very close to the royal palace. Because of this, the king often visited Leonardo to talk and spend time with him. Leonardo's condition grew worse, and in October 1517, he became paralyzed in his right hand. This is also believed to be the reason why the Mona Lisa was never truly completed. Even so, Leo remained devoted to his research until he became bedridden. A few months later, on May 2nd, 1519, Leonardo passed away at the Château du Clos-Luz at the age of 67, marking the end of a genius's life. Leonardo's tomb is located at the Château d'Amboise in France. Throughout his career, Leo left behind countless valuable artworks and scientific studies for future generations. Today, Leonardo has become a legend, one of the greatest polymaths in human history. His life and stories have inspired curiosity and exploration for hundreds of years. Now, let's take a look at some of Leo's most famous works. The Annunciation was painted between 1472 and 1476. It is considered one of his earliest completed works. The Lady with an Ermine was painted between 1489 and 1491. This portrait was commissioned, and the woman in the painting is believed to be Cecilia Gallerani, the mistress of a nobleman. The Last Supper was painted over nearly 3 years, from 1495 to 1498. It is one of Leo's most famous masterpieces. Leonardo created it for the monastery of Santa Maria del Grazie in 1980. The painting was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. However, because it was painted directly onto a wall using an experimental technique, the artwork has severely deteriorated over time. The Mona Lisa was painted over about 13 years, from 1503 to 1516. This is the most famous work of Leonardo da Vinci. The painting was never completed because Leonardo's right hand became paralyzed. It is currently displayed in the Louvre Museum in France. The Salvator Mundi was painted between 1490 and 1510. It was sold at auction for a record price of $450 million in 2017. However, whether Leonardo himself painted this work is still debated. Greetings, Master Leonardo. Many researchers believe you had numerous secrets within the Mona Lisa. As the artist yourself, could you explain to the audience the mysteries hidden inside the painting?
Mona Lisa is a work that I really like. It's just a shame that I died before I could finish it completely. I'm also really happy that 500 years later, so many people still love it like this. Oh right, there was one time I went on YouTube and saw a few videos exposing or debunking the Mona Lisa. Those guys who keep digging up mysteries and secrets are just chasing views, grandson. There's literally nothing inside the Mona Lisa at all, fuck all.
Okay, thank you, sir, for today's conversation. Okay, this video of mine ends here. If you guys enjoyed it, please support me with a like. And subscribe to my channel to get notifications for the next video, okay? See you all in the next one. Bye-bye.